name is Penny Martens, and I am a biomedical engineer at UNSW Sydney. I did all my training in the US as a chemical engineer first, and then moved here for a one-year postdoc 18 years ago. So obviously fell in love with Australia and have continued at UNSW Sydney since then. So my research area is really focused around biosynthetic hydrogels. So I always phrase it to new students that are applying, I take the best of both worlds. I take synthetic polymers, which we can control and tailor and do all fun kinds of chemical engineering things on, and then combine them with biomedical or biological polymers, which are, good for cell growth and various things. So then we use these for a variety of biomedical applications, and it's ranged from curing diabetes or trying to cure diabetes to some of the current projects around drug delivery and oncofertility. So that's where my research mainly focuses on. And in that, what I'm kind of most proud of, I know it's the cheesy answer, but I'm most proud of the students that I've produced and what they've gone on to do, of which many of them will be well known in the ASBTE community. Yeah, I'm really very passionate about the people and the production of the new future scientists. I think they're all going to be way smarter than me and way better than me. So if I can train them, even better. In the future, while I am most proudest of the students, what I'm really passionate about and where I'd like to see this research growing is to really see a real biomaterials industry in Australia, where we're actually producing some things and manufacturing them. I'd love to see these hydrogels actually applied inside the human body and actually curing people or helping people. So one of my current projects is actually around the delivery of a drug that can help preserve cells through chemotherapy treatment. And actually was just working on it this morning. The original idea was about putting it on the ovaries, and you can imagine everyone always asks us, how are you going to paint on a hydrogel on an ovary? Which, yes, that's going to be very difficult, especially when you're talking mice ovaries. But it works on bone as well. We just found out recently with our collaborators. So you could imagine implanting that in a fractured bone on somebody who's going through chemotherapy, and then actually having improved bone outcomes from that fracture, which chemotherapy and bones do not go well together either. So if we could actually do that and put that in a patient, that would be amazing. So I am currently vice president of ASBTE, and in thinking about this question about, what am I most proud of or what's it like to be VP, I actually reflected on how long I've been on the exec. I've actually been part of the executive since 2007. So that's 14 years of being on the executive, and I like to think I've really helped shape the society and change things. Starting out as just an ordinary member to being treasurer, transforming it from a very paper-based system to actually being electronic, and then going through the vice president, president, and now VP. And VP is great. It's a great role because all I'm doing is supporting Brian as president. So you get to focus a little bit more on the initiatives and the fun side of things. But yeah, it's actually my last few days of being vice president and few days of being on the executive, and I'm really sad to be leaving it, but it's been such a great society and such a big part of my life here in Australia. So it's been a great community to be part of. So people might be surprised to learn things about me, although I doubt it because I'm pretty much an open book. Just take me out for a drink and I'll tell you everything. But you may not be aware that I work out 5 to 6 times a week, doing this thing called CrossFit, which is crazy. But in that, you might be surprised to learn that on many, many workouts, I have done over 100 pull-ups in a workout, and I can back squat over 100 kilos. I know my undergraduate students are often very surprised to learn that. So if I wasn't in the field of biomaterials and tissue engineering, is a good question. What would I be doing? And in fact, I'm not sure if everyone knows, I actually already have a split role, so I'm only half of me is in that field at the moment. I am also Deputy Dean of Graduate Research here at UNSW. So again, going back to that people and the training side of things, which I mentioned earlier. So that is also a really big passion of mine. So I think if I wasn't doing the research side of it, I would do this side full time. So really around people management or leadership or a business degree is what I probably would have done if I had to start all over again. Well, again, this probably doesn't surprise anyone who's gone out with me at meetings, but I do not drink tea or coffee. I do not like the flavor of either. So you can mostly find me with a bottle of water. Very boring, but that's what I drink.